So guys, the iPhone 10 event. I don't know what to say about it, other than, to help me discuss it, I've got two people, not just Brandon. Yes, there is someone else today. Let's go ahead and see who it is. We've got your boy, Matty D.
Hey, what's up?
This is gonna be a great episode, guys. Watch the whole thing. Alright guys, so we have quite a few things to go over this episode, and we are going to start out with the iPhone 8. Were you, either of you, expecting this to be a thing?
No.
I was thinking it was going to be the 7S, because that's what they've been doing, like...
Pretty much, yeah, I mean, this is a really strange way of numbering here, so, you know, you go 4, 4S, 5, 5S, 6, you know, blah, 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 7, 8, and then, of course, the 10, like, what's up with 9? Like, everyone skips 9 for some reason. Like, Windows is like that. True. Apple's like, everyone hates number 9.
Well, they had Mac OS 9, but...
They put that... They had watched a video a while back. Steve Jobs put it to rest at, like, a funeral. So I think it's something in the tech world we're trying to actually stay away from 9, like, no lie.
Really?
Yeah, there's something about it. Yeah. It's like an evil number out there. I don't know.
Well, the first thing I have to say about the iPhone 8 is it looks like a bigger 4S. I'm just gonna say that right now. I have a 4S actually somewhere. As I knock a bunch of crap over in the process of trying to get it.
Fun time.
So you guys see this right here? This is an iPhone 4S from back in the day when this was like new. This... Tell me with a straight face the iPhone 8 does not just look like a bigger version of this.
I can't. I mean, I see where it takes the 7s and 6s and 5 and 6S's and all that design.
Yeah, with like the curves and stuff, but it's glass on both sides. And actually, another thing was, it says the iPhone 8 introduces an all-new glass design. Well, I can think of a couple of other phones that have it. Like I just showed you guys the 4S. We got an S7 Edge right here. That has glass on both sides. What do you got, Matt? S8 Plus? Glass on both sides.
Now here, before you continue, I'd like to continue, or just say real quick. Glass on the front has to be done, but glass on the back doesn't. And I'm going to show you right here. I don't know if you can see that, but this is cracked. This fell half a foot. I'm telling you, the iPhone 8, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to break if you drop it.
Well,
yeah,
no,
I mean, I think the glass looks pretty and everything. Yeah, you go ahead.
Allegedly, this is the most durable glass in a phone ever. It was rumored that they were going to be using Gorilla Glass 5, but I guess that didn't happen. Or maybe it did and they're just lying, which is entirely possible. I'm not going to rule that possibility out at all. But, you know.
Well, I mean, I think the glass looks pretty and everything like that, but, you know, that's kind of taking a risk, too, because I knew a lot of people who had the iPhone 4 and 4S and, you know, the glass in the back and had, you know, it shattered, basically, and I don't know.
In defense of the all-glass design, I had my original Galaxy S7. I never cracked it. I had the 4S and I never cracked it. I cracked the screen cover on my current S7 right there. This is the second one I've broken, but the actual glass isn't cracked. So...
Well, going back a few seconds, they said it's the strongest glass yet. Yeah. They say about every phone that comes out. It's a little bit stronger, yet it'll still break. I just want to make that point clear.
That is true.
I don't think we'll get a point.
I don't think this is like a type of glass that's been used in a phone before. Because hold on, let me try to find it here. Did they seriously take it out?
Take what out? The
part of, there was a whole section about the glass on this, and it's just not here anymore. Maybe they found out like they dropped it like an inch and it just shattered entirely.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! We shouldn't have made that claim, guys. People will still buy it anyway. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll delete it. People will still buy it. pulls it out of their pocket and the screen is cracked, just like my Galaxy's screen cover. Oh man. So there you go, guys. iPhone 8, iPhone 7 with a glass back and wireless charging and a faster processor. That's about it. And the new cameras, okay? But other than that, it's literally exactly the same phone.
No headphone jack.
Oh yes, no headphone jack either. That's not back. There is still water resistance, but as far as I know, it's still only IP67.
It is.
But you'll notice, there's a guy on YouTube, if you guys don't know, Everything Apple Pro did tests with the S7 and the iPhone 7, and the iPhone lasted longer in deeper, like, depths of water than the S7 did. So it is possible that Apple is just underrating their phone to avoid people being like, oh, let me take this into a pool, and then it dies, and they're like, well, because that's a risk you take with advertising your phone as water resistant. I know a couple of people who have taken their Galaxies into a swimming pool, and then it just broke. Whereas me, I've had my Galaxy in water plenty of times, and I've never had a problem with water damage at all. So, I feel like Apple's builds are more consistent than Samsung's, but it's still possible that it can fail.
Yeah, it's definitely like case by case. You really don't know what to expect depending on the phone and the circumstances, the conditions, how deep you had it in the water. Was this like in a pool? Was it in the ocean? You know, something like that. You know, sure. It can really can make the difference, I think.
Well, you got to remember too, Apple. You know, they say they keep like a high build quality standard. They actually do, from what I've experienced. Whereas,
yeah, like, from my experience as well.
Like, you know, like on my Samsung phones, every Samsung I've had, Note 2, Note 4 Edge, or Note Edge, or all that stuff. There's always, like, they're all different in build quality. You don't get, like...
That's true, yeah. So. Yeah, because, like Sam, yours is, like, all messed up and everything, and then my sister's is still fine. It's just very inconsistent build quality. You really don't know what you get when you buy it. With Apple, it's consistently been like pretty decent, at least. You know, you're going to get a pretty good phone for the most part. That works for sure.
Yeah, but Brandon, just to correct you for just a second, the Galaxy that you're talking about, I don't have it anymore. I sent it back.
Oh, really?
But you are correct. It didn't last very long before it started having issues that I had never seen any phone do before. Like that pink line, it had the color separation and the dead pixels. Guys, never buy a Samsung phone. Matt, you're complaining about your S8.
Okay, so
first off, what did I tell you when you got it?
Told me don't get an S8. Actually, you still get a second phone. I was dumb enough to buy two phones on the plan.
Well, you're more like you're rich enough to buy two phones on the plan.
I'm not rich. But nonetheless.
You have two, okay. You have two top of the line phones. This guy has the 256 gig 7 Plus Jet Black and the S8 Plus 64 gig, which is as big as they go with the SD slot.
Okay, well,
fine. And now he's over here complaining about, I can't have a PS4 even though I have a PS4 Pro that I sold to my brother for $50 so I could buy a DVD.
Whoa. But yeah, no, I was gonna say, I bought the S8. I liked it up until inconsistency in apps. Like I'll randomly get like Android system was stopped, all this stuff, and honestly, the iPhone just gives me a better experience. So that's why I'm gonna stick with Apple for now. Actually, probably forever with my luck.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like the main reason I'm going back to iPhone is because I use a Mac as my main computer. You just look behind me, guys. MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. I got all this trash. Just stuff that I've had over the years. The main computer I use is the Retina 5K iMac. And it's been a great computer. I really do not regret buying it. But I do regret buying the Galaxy. Because with the Galaxy, you can't text and call from the Mac like you can with iPhone.
Well,
and...
They do have a thing called side sync, but
it's just not the same.
It's absolutely not the same.
It's just not the same as the way Apple does it. The way Apple does it just works.
awesome, actually.
It just works, and I love it. Except for when AT&T doesn't connect to my phone and it just dies for no reason. But that's because of AT&T, not Apple. So we could have an entire episode of the Rantcast on AT&T.
Probably good, yeah.
Me and Matt, even Brandon. Brandon doesn't even have AT&T, but he hears enough from me about it. So
I hear enough from you to basically rant about it. And I have enough friends who use AT&T and all these other people that I know, and they don't particularly like it usually. So
well, yeah. I mean, no one in their like right mind would like AT&T, except
the executive.
True.
Yeah.
I don't even think the executive at AT&T even likes it.
He probably has like secretly he's probably or something.
Yeah, he's like secretly on T-Mobile. Just
yeah.
He puts a custom firmware on his iPhone to make it say AT&T while he's on T-Mobile.
Yeah. I mean, like the sad part wasn't AT&T basically the pioneers in that, in starting like cell.
AT&T started. They started cell service. It was great.
Well, you know what? So we're the only ones that had the iPhone at first too, because they were.
Yeah, that's true. They did. Yeah, they were the only ones that had the iPhone.
They're also the only carrier with the S7 and S8 active. So.
Well, that's Samsung.
Oh, I know, but yeah, we get off topic a lot here on the Rantcast, Matt. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, it is fueled by ADHD, guys. So.
Oh yeah, that's like the motto for this show. Fueled by ADHD. Oh man. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for the iPhone 8. Like literally just glass iPhone 7, pretty much with a faster processor. A couple of other things that they did announce at the event, though. There is a new Apple TV, and guys, check this out right now, really quick. You see this right here? The 4K HDR era now playing. Apple finally has a 4K Apple TV. They should have put 4K in it last year, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
If anything, they should have had HDR for a while. HDR is a great technology. Really brings a picture to life. 4K is just...
That is true. HDR is awesome. But I feel like they didn't until now, because it's like we were talking about this before we actually started filming, but Apple waits for new technologies to get like well established, and then they jump in and do it right. Although like they were one of the first companies to put a dual camera system in their phone, and they did do that right, but phones have had wireless charging for a long time. And let's talk about that for a second. They're using standard Qi charging, which surprised me.
Yeah, no,
I was so sure that there was going to be some proprietary trash, but from everything that I've heard, I can just once I get it, I can set the iPhone 10 on my Samsung charge pad and it'll charge.
But the question is, why would you do that when they have their own spin on it? I don't know if you saw, either of you, the Apple charging.
Oh, AirPower?
Yeah, AirPower.
Well, that's not available until 2018.
But still, it's pretty neat.
It is neat, but I already have a charge pad.
True.
So I don't have to buy another one.
What do Samsung phones use? Do they use Qi?
Yeah, I think every phone uses Qi. Although there might be a couple of like foreign phones that don't, but I don't know. I don't even know of any other types of wireless charging that there are.
I thought there was one other one, but
There is one other one, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, guys, back to the Apple TV here. It's the pre-orders started actually today, and keep in mind today being Friday, because this is when we're recording this video. But Apple TV 4K, I honestly was pretty surprised at the price. Check this out. We've got 32 gig is $179, and 64 is $200. So, I was expecting, when I was watching the event, I was like, oh, this is going to be like $400 for the base model, but no, 180. Not too bad at all.
Not too bad.
The only thing I don't like, HDMI cable sold separately. Come on, why can't you include the HDMI cable with it?
I know, HDMI cables are so cheap too. I mean, really.
That's probably their thought process. If you can afford an Apple TV, you can probably afford an HDMI cable.
Probably. Because I have spare ones laying around everywhere, so.
Sorry, I want you to overbuy on the cable. I don't think I'm going to be upgrading to this 4K Apple TV. I've got a 4th gen now.
You do have the one with the Siri remote?
I have it right down in my living room.
Okay.
I don't feel like it's going to take advantage. I mean, yeah, it's more powerful, but I think the true reason for it is the 4K and the HDR. And if you don't have a TV that supports it, I'd still go for the old one, you know?
Yeah, like I have the actually the 3rd gen in my basement. But what I plan on doing is I told you about the cheap 4K Vizio TV.
Yeah.
I want to get that, and then I want to get the 4K Apple TV.
Just make sure you get a TV with HDR. I'm telling you, I skipped out on Sense TV. I miss it. I think my Sony 1080p TV might have had HDR, and it just looks so much better of a picture. So if you guys
HDR does make a huge difference, especially with gaming.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, I know. I mean, I was at Best Buy the other day looking at the HDR TVs, and my mouth was just watering. I'm like, man, I wish I had the money to buy one right now.
Like, I would love to just go out and drop like $6,000 on one of those Sony OLED HDR TVs, but I that's like 2 times what I spent on my iMac. I can't justify that. It's ridiculous.
I'd find a way to justify it. They're so nice.
Well, you find a way to justify having more than one phone. and having and buying more than one PlayStation in a year.
And Xbox and laptops. And
yeah. You know what? That's going to be the next topic that we talk about. Matt is addicted to buying things.
I really am.
Matt's spending habits.
Worse than mine, guys.
Rantcast, Matt's wallet.
Yes. That'll be our next one for sure.
Come back next month for that episode, guys. If you're interested, we're going to do it. Oh, man. All right. But other than that, there is actually a new Apple Watch. We actually should probably briefly talk about that just for a second here. But check this out, guys. Apple Watch Series 3, available October 22nd. You've noticed that everything we've showed you, September 22nd. But you've noticed everything we've showed you so far has been, or is going to be available on the 22nd of this month, which is great. Pre-order started today, which is Friday, as I said earlier. But a couple of things that are actually new with this. The Apple Watch Series 3 has LTE now. And the way they did it is... I can't remember what they said in the keynote. I think this little bulge at the bottom is 2 sheets of paper down more, but the casing is the same size.
It said the LTE antenna is in the screen or something.
Oh yeah, they use the screen as the LTE antenna, which is actually pretty smart. So they don't have to make room for antennas, but if you get the LTE model, you get the red dot on the digital crown. This is the one thing that I didn't like, though. Make calls and send texts with just your watch. Here's the thing. You can already do that. You just have to have your iPhone paired to it. And guess what? You don't have to pay for an additional line on whatever carrier you're on.
Here's one thing I think they skipped over and didn't really talk about enough in their presentation. Up until now, with this current gen Apple Watch, you talk to Siri... She doesn't talk back, but they said that the processor is now powerful enough to render Siri on device.
Oh yeah, dude, honestly, I didn't even know Siri didn't talk back to you on the Apple Watch until they said that. I was like, wait, it never did? Okay.
Yeah, no, I had a first gen, I've seen the second gen, never talked.
I remember roasting you for that. This guy bought the first gen a couple days before Series 2 came out, and I was just like, Matt, you're stuck with Series 1 until you get another paycheck.
Because guess what? They dropped Series 2, but they kept Series 1.
No, did you have the new Series 1 or the OG?
I had the OG Series 1. I got it from AT&T, so it was kind of newer. But no, I'm saying...
So was it the Series 1 with the dual-core processor or the launch edition? Because they're different.
Dual-core.
Okay, so you had the better Series 1 at least.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you go to the Apple Watch page, they only have Series 3, Nike Plus, and Series 1 now. They dropped Series 2. I don't get why they would.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah,
It's
I noticed
probably
that too. Yeah.
like here. Check this out, guys. I actually had a friend who was waiting for the Series 3 to come out to get a Series 2 so it would be cheaper, and now he can't get a Series 2.
Which doesn't make any sense because
It doesn't. Like,
better on battery.
well, here's the thing though. I think they're keeping the Series 1 around because it's cheaper to manufacture.
Well, definitely, but
Because look here. Series 3, Nike Plus, Hermes Edition, and Series 1. Which, these new bands look nice, though. These new loops. Or do they call them loops or bands?
Who knows?
I can't remember. Either way, they look nice. Series 1 starts at $250 now, and that's for the little tiny one. But what is nice, though, guys, if you look... if you want to go and order the Series 3, the one without cellular starts at $329, which... I was surprised. I thought they were going to make the LTE one more expensive. But what they did was they made the one with LTE cost the same amount as the Series 2 did.
Very
and then
smart.
then the ones without LTE are cheaper. So check this out, guys. The freaking 42mm Sport, which is the one I would get, is $360. Not very expensive at all compared to when it was when it first came out.
$15,000?
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. Remember that, Brendan?
What?
The original Apple Watch edition was made of solid 18-karat gold, and you could spend
Oh, yeah.
$17,000 on
I
it.
remember that now. Yeah. I do remember
That was
that.
so much money to spend on a watch. It's ridiculous.
Steve Jobs were here, he'd be rolling in his grave. Wait, did
If Steve Jobs were here, he would be rolling in his grave, yes.
So wait, what was that price again? You said
$17,000
$17,000
for a watch.
so that would be like their most expensive thing they've ever sold.
They don't make
Think
it
so,
anymore.
right?
The current edition is ceramic, which it still starts at like $1,200, which is ridiculous. But I'm about to spend more than that on a phone, so I don't think I really have room to talk.
Yeah, should we talk about that now?
Yeah, guys, in the event, I was watching it at school, actually, because my teacher was nice enough to, let me sit there and watch it in class instead of doing work, but I was sitting there watching it, and when they announced the iPhone, I was sitting there just like, show me that freaking bezel-free, no home button, traffic light-looking camera, and then they roll out the iPhone 8. And I was texting Matt during this, and we were both like, what is this? Was this just a troll the whole time from everybody at Apple? So they're sitting there, they're going off about, ooh, iPhone 8, wireless charging, 4K 60 video recording, True Tone display. That's another thing, it has True Tone display now. But, Matt and I were both sitting there talking to each other, and we're like, is this what we've been waiting for? And then they show the freaking event, one more thing, and then that's when they pulled this out.
That's what
This
I thought. When I saw that-
iPhone X, guys, look at this thing. So, first off, the name. It's technically called iPhone 10. I'm going to be calling it iPhone X because it just sounds cooler.
Yeah, I think so too.
First off, look
X
at
is
this
just a better
design.
name.
Look at the design here. And I know everyone's going to go off about Samsung, the S8. This is an iPhone, okay? This is a big thing for them. There's no more home button. There's been a home button since the first iPhone. So, the only thing I really did not like about the announcement was pre-order unavailable until October 27th, and then the phone doesn't come out until November 3rd.
Yeah, that kind of made me, how am I supposed to get this now? But I guess it gives me more time to pay off my current phone.
That is true. I mean, like,
the upgrade at the time of the event, they're kind of like, well, now I have to deal with this iPhone 4 for another 2 months or whatever. You know?
like I had paid off my S7 like the day before the event, thinking they're gonna announce this. It's gonna be pre-ordered this Friday, and then they come out. Not until October, boy. And then I was just like, I could have waited to pay off my phone, but no.
Does anyone know specifically why they're waiting longer on the release date and the pre-order date on it? Is it just a weird Apple decision they made, or?
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's because it's a brand new design.
Yeah, like, and you saw
we need to wait a while on it.
We need to talk about the Face ID fail.
Well,
if you actually look closely at the video, if any of you guys have an iPhone 5S or newer, if you fail using Touch ID too many times, it'll lock you out of using Touch ID and make you put in your passcode.
Or even
and I think
it'll do that.
What?
Even if it's just starting up for the first time after being shut off, it'll do that.
But it shows a different message than what showed on the demo.
True.
Because it says iPhone requires password after restarting. But what me and a couple of other tech YouTubers think is it's entirely possible that before the show, people were looking at it, and since it wasn't Craig, the guy who was doing the demo, it locked him out of Face ID, so he couldn't use it. And if that's the case, then Face ID just did exactly what it was supposed to. But it is also entirely possible that it just failed entirely, and that might be why they're delaying it, but no one knows for sure.
I'm gonna go with it's just disabled, because that's definitely the same message you get if like your fingers.
Yeah, and it takes more than 2 tries to disable Touch ID. So like it takes more than 2 failed attempts to disable it. I think it's like 6.
Yeah.
So it is entirely possible that other people were looking at it, not realizing that it was trying to see this Craig guy's face and not seeing it, and then it just disabled Face ID. It's entirely possible, but it is also, like I said, possible that Face ID just is technically still in beta and not ready for release, which might be another reason why they delayed the official release of this iPhone 10. But other than the release date and the Touch ID or the Face ID fail, this is a beautiful phone. Like, it doesn't matter if you hate Apple, you can't say that this phone doesn't look good.
Oh yeah, it looks very beautiful.
It is.
I mean, almost anything I've seen from Apple. I mean, I complain about Apple. I'll say things about them, and I'll say good things about it. But one thing they always nail down right is definitely the aesthetics and design. They're the best in terms of that. I mean, the iPhone X is like probably the most beautiful one they've come up with, I think.
Honestly,
it is for sure.
I'm a big fan of like irregular screen design. That's why I like the Edge phones. That's why I had that Note Edge whenever it first came out. I like that the screen takes up the whole screen, but it doesn't. You know, there's still that little bar at the top, and I think that's actually kind of neat.
I think it looks like a clipboard. There's gonna be 2 main memes of this phone. It's gonna be, hey, your phone has a traffic light on the back of it, and hey, your phone looks like a clipboard. I feel like those are gonna be the 2 big like memes of the iPhone 10. But I like the design, and another thing that's actually new with this phone is I hate the name of this screen, but Super Retina display. It's the first OLED screen that's been in an iPhone ever, so they're really late to the party with that as well. But look at this, guys, 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio. That's crazy.
Isn't the screen also higher resolution than they usually do? I thought they said it was like, I don't know.
It's
1440, but
it's not quite 1440, but it is more than 1080. I don't know if they actually like have the
Let me check.
I don't know if they actually have here. You know what? We're gonna do this. Google search iPhone 10 screen resolution.
Searching Google for iPhone X, the screen resolution.
Probably don't have any data on it yet, but
what do we got here? Okay, well, you can see here the resolution gives it 458 pixels per inch, which is a pretty high pixel density. I'm just trying to find if they actually have the resolution listed here.
They said it in the keynote. I just didn't pay enough attention.
Yeah, they did say it in the keynote, but I can't remember what the resolution was.
Oh, wait, I think I might have found it. Your resolution is 2040 or 2436 by 1125, 15 pixels per inch. Or even like older iPhones, like let's say a 5S, 64-bit. I think the 5S is a dual core, correct?
Yes, the 5S is dual core,
and it would still outperform any of the. Actually, still some Samsung phones that are way more spec'd. And now the iPhone has a 6-core.
The 6S was dual core. They didn't have quad core until the 7, and now this A11 Bionic chip is 6.
6 cores.
What happened? What are they doing now? Are they finally? They're finally catching up to everyone else in the industry, which is great.
They're gonna blow away with their optimization.
Like, I feel bad for every competitor of Apple because this phone is just going to destroy everything in Geekbench.
Truthful, I don't think Geekbench on iPhones is fair because every iPhone's built the same. Like, they have that same model. I mean, yeah, different apps will slow it down, but you're essentially going to get the same score, whereas on other phones, I feel like it's more testing. It's still going to destroy, but...
I mean, it's just because of optimization.
I look
like,
at real day-to-day use, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like, on paper, the Note 8 with its octa-core processor and 6 gigabytes of RAM should blow the iPhone X out of the water completely, but it doesn't. And here's why. iOS only has to run on one device, and that is the iPhone and the iPad, I guess. But regardless, both of those are devices from Apple, and that's why Apple can optimize their operating system so well, because they know exactly what hardware it's going to be running on. Whereas in the case of Android, you have manufacturers like Samsung, LG, Huawei, all these other companies that put their custom they put their own spin on Android, and I don't like that, because basically what it means is you're losing optimization, you don't get the latest Android updates right away, especially in the case of AT&T and Samsung, and optimization just isn't there. Except, unless you get the Google Pixel, but that phone just is trash. I don't like the Google Pixel. I'm just gonna say that right now. It looks... When you look at it next to a Galaxy S8 or now this iPhone X, it looks like it's from the freaking Stone Age. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That is true.
It does.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Doesn't it also have like a slanted kind of like wedge design to it?
Like this... I know the Nexus 6 did, but I don't know if the Pixel does.
Pixel might not. I'm thinking of the Nexus 6, I think.
But the Nexus 6 definitely did. That phone was weird looking too. But...
Unwanted child.
Other things about the iPhone X, what do we got here? You've got the first ever Super Retina display. I still don't like the name of that. They could have come up with something better, but... It looks nice. You've got the OLED display, so it matches with the bezels. Oh, and also with the silver and black, space gray iPhone X, the bezel is black on both of them. Check this out, guys. It's IP67 rated water resistance. We also do need to talk. We talked briefly about the Face ID fail on stage, or I don't even know what happened with it. But unlike the Galaxies, which can be tricked just with a picture of whoever registered their face with the phone, it projects 30,000 infrared dots onto your face. So that's 30,000 points of data that it looks at. See, here you go right here. Face ID is enabled by the True Depth camera, which is the new camera up in the sensor bar up here. 30,000 invisible dots get projected onto your face. I think it uses infrared. But that's 30,000 points of data. You can't trick that with a picture.
Especially since there's depth to it. I think they even said like they tried like having 3D masks printed and it still couldn't trick them because of the blink thing.
That and
I heard that too. Yeah.
it also won't unlock if your eyes aren't open.
Right.
So all you have to do is if someone tries to like hold your phone up to your face, is just close your eyes, and then it won't unlock. Although Face ID is so fast, you might not be able to react fast enough.
Right.
But also with this true depth camera, portrait mode on the iPhone 7 Plus back camera is available on the selfie camera on this, which I don't know if I care enough about that to even talk about it, but I felt that I should mention it.
Well, here's one thing I actually find pretty neat, and they said it kind of ties in with those animojis or whatever, where it tracks your face and turns into that little character thing. That's face tracking. They can use that in games. Like with that new, what is that, Metal 2? It's...
Oh, yeah. With iOS 11, they're introducing Metal 2, which is also going to be in the new macOS once that comes out. But as Matt was talking about this, oh crap, I'm gonna have to refresh the page to get it to play again. But, here. This, Animoji thing, okay, I'm gonna say this right now, this is gimmicky, but from a technological standpoint, it is impressive that it can track your face that, like, precisely to turn you into a freaking emoji, okay? Like, the feature's gimmicky in this use case, but it's there and it can be used for, like Matt said, gaming. It
has lots of applications. I mean, I wish they, like, in the presentation they could have showed maybe a different application of it, but I guess for the majority of
it's such a new technology, there might not be anything yet other than this.
Yeah, that's probably true too. It does have lots of applications for it. I mean, like things that you can use it for.
They showed that Snapchat thing.
Oh yeah.
Because they have that with the true depth camera. They actually like teamed up with Snapchat to be able to use the filters in Snapchat more accurately on your face, which that just adds to the cancer of Snapchat entirely. But it's there. What else do we got here? The dual 12 megapixel cameras. Now, I was really happy to see this. If you remember the Galaxy Note 8 event, they actually they fake compared the Note 8 to the 7 Plus with the stabilization. Like I would love to see the behind the scenes for that, because I've shot videos with the iPhone 7 Plus before, and it is absolutely nowhere as shaky as they showed it on their demo. Even with the stabilization turned off, it is nowhere as shaky.
Purposely shaking it, and it had to be.
Well, yeah, of course, if you're holding your camera like this, it's gonna be shaky no matter how good your stabilization is in the camera.
Wait, just take a picture of that, sonny boy.
But regardless of that, though, the Note 8, the original iPhone 7 Plus did not have an optically stabilized telephoto camera. This does, just like the Note 8. I think it has the same aperture as the iPhone 8 as well. The main camera has an f1.8 aperture. The telephoto is f2.4, which is a shallower depth of field than they had on the 7 Plus, which was just f2.8, I think, was it?
No clue.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was f2.8, and in any case, the telephoto camera will do better in low light than it did on the 7 Plus, and it looks like a traffic light. So there's that. Apparently the sensor's bigger. I'm just gonna have to test this for myself once I get it. I know a couple people who have the 7 Plus that I could do a comparison video with, but larger 12 megapixel sensor. They didn't make the jump to 16 yet, which neither did Samsung. So, but another thing is, Matt, did you see the portrait lighting effects that they had?
Yes, that's impressive too, honestly. If you guys didn't see it, if you've ever been to like I'm not saying I have, but like certain shows or whatnot, stage lighting can create the illusion of just a person standing there and the background's completely black and dark. You don't see the background at all. There's different lighting, so that was the one that caught my eye the most. Is you can take, like, say, this scene right here, take a picture of me, phone's right here, and it blacks out the entire background, or you can adjust the lighting, because it's they said something about it constantly looking for the adjusting to the different scenes of light, or I can't remember how they explained it, but you can like adjust the different lighting and angles and whatnot after the shot.
They do have a thing here. You can see there's different modes with the portrait light. It is in beta, but see this? Stage light and stage light mono. Basically with that, you can even edit it like after you've taken the picture. You can put these effects on it, which is awesome. Let me just play this again for you guys. So check this out. Studio light, contour light, stage light. It just completely blacks out the background, and then this, just the same thing with black and white. That's cool. I feel like that's a feature that will be used more than the cancerous Snapchat trash.
Yeah, I really do like that a lot. I mean, it's way easier for most people. I mean, you could do like senior pictures, professional pictures, just like that. You don't have to even hire a photographer or anything like that. It just makes things so simple, just in a snap. It's pretty cool. If there's anything I really like about this phone, it's definitely the camera system for sure. I mean, it's just just
and
awesome.
that's one thing that Apple's been getting right for a really long time with their phones. It's their cameras. Like even the iPhone 7, like not even the Plus. The stabilization on the 7 combines optical and software stabilization, and it's just so stable. Like when you look at it, it almost, not entirely, but it almost looks like your phone is on a gimbal. That's how stable it is.
Yeah, it's pretty great then, so I can only imagine
it is
better.
And well, it's not called the FaceTime HD camera anymore, first off. But it is still only 7 megapixels. It still only records 1080p video, which is kind of sad. I thought they were going to try to go to 9 megapixels just to one-up Samsung just by that much, like Samsung did. But they didn't, and you know what?
To be fair, most...
Just
like,
a few years ago, phones didn't even have 7 megapixel cameras on the back. So
that's what I would say. Like even today, like cheaper smartphones still only have like 4 and 6 megapixel cameras.
And 5 actually even too.
Yeah.
Like the Galaxy Soul 2 has a 5 megapixel back camera. And that's a budget phone, yeah, but can't you at least give us 8? The 4S had 8.
Yeah.
Other than the cameras with the iPhone or the iPhone 10, they use almost the same system as the 8. But the telephoto camera in the iPhone 8 is not optically stabilized, but it is in the 10. But other than the cameras, guys, we have the new processor. This is the Apple A11 Bionic. That's also where the neural engine is to process the Face ID data. But read this, guys. 600 billion operations per second. That's a lot of operations, okay? 600 billion. That's a big number.
You can barely juggle 2 tasks at once, and this thing is going to be doing 6.
True. Oh, man. So the way they did this with the 6 cores is there's 4 efficiency cores and there's 2 performance cores. This is the same way they did it with the 7, except there's now 4 efficiency cores instead of 2. I personally think they should have done 4 performance cores, but regardless, it's still gonna be a really fast phone. It's looking like it's going to actually be a solid phone. I think this is the first time for like the last 8 years that Apple's actually had something new to the market in their smartphones. Like,
I agree.
everything in the 7 had already existed before, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff in the iPhone 8 that's already, or the 8 and the 10, that's already been a thing for years on Android. Like, wireless charging, that's been a thing for a long time. But, there is not a phone with fully 3D facial recognition and tracking, and there is not a phone that can record 4K video at 60 frames a second. That's just not a thing in anything else other than the iPhone. Oh, the iPhone 8 does 4K 60 recording, but 3D facial tracking is only in the iPhone 10. So,
The iPhone 8, or maybe 8 had this too. First time in an iPhone, not really an important feature for most people, but it is for me. And Sam, I know you have some experience with this with your Mac recently today. Bluetooth 5.0. Not only
yes.
to do more connected devices, but like
That's not a first though.
No, I know. Well, no, like the 7 Plus only had Bluetooth 4.2.
Yeah, I mean the S8 does have Bluetooth 5, but that came out in April. Yeah, April.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is Bluetooth 5 gives you a lot more bandwidth. Like, for example, on my S8, I can connect 2 different speakers wirelessly and be playing the same song. So I can see more connected peripherals possibly happening with that, you know?
Yeah, that is entirely possible. And another thing that they actually did, we've talked about wireless charging already, but guys, check this out. This is called AirPower. Okay, it's not going to put me in the same spot. That's okay. But here we go. It shows every single one of your devices on the screen of your iPhone. I still think it's funny that all of these are called Sam's iPhone, Sam's Apple Watch, Sam's AirPods. That's great. Yeah, you see, thank you, Apple.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah. They've been watching our
Exactly.
videos.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we haven't had any problems with Apple.
Right? Like this is one of the
Exactly.
only companies that we talk positively about on this show. Everything else we just talk very negatively about because everything else freaking sucks pretty much. But they don't have like the full thing, but it shows all of your devices, and it does that cool like animation with like it flipping around and going into the little thing. And as we said at the beginning of the episode, it uses standard Qi charging, which was a surprise to me. I thought they were going to have some proprietary trash, but they didn't. And I feel like the reason that they're using just standard Qi charging is because, yeah, the places like McDonald's, Starbucks, they already have wireless charging mats in the tables. So if Apple were to make their own proprietary thing, it would probably cost them a lot of money to put that in the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Because I mean, usually Apple does like proprietary stuff, so I thought it was a little surprising.
For example.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is a pretty smart move because like you said, you have places that have using the Qi technology or the Qi standard, and I think it does overall help quite a lot.
It does. It also
you
makes me
wouldn't
happy because I don't have to buy a new wireless charge pad.
I know, exactly.
One thing I think they kind of glossed over again, they seem to kind of like move away from a lot of things. With that Qi and the AirPower, Apple CarPlay, they said you'd be able to set, or they showed kind of like a little thing. You set your iPhone down, wirelessly connects to CarPlay, and then it's charging too, just with it in the center console. No wires, no nothing. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that coming up in like future cars, maybe even like a TV or like entertainment system where you can just set the phone down and it throws it up on the screen. I mean, you already got that with like AirPlay, but
yeah, and that's like another like Samsung Dex with the S8 and Note 8. Basically, you set your phone down in this dock, and you can use it as a lower end PC, like a.
It's still Android.
Like a stripped down PC.
It actually isn't wireless. I thought it was.
No, yeah, it uses USB-C. And that's another thing, guys. We were just talking about this, but Apple does usually prefer proprietary things. Like Lightning is a great example of that. Every other phone is on USB-C, and Apple's just like, hey, Lightning, what's up, guys?
Even their MacBooks are on USB-C now. Actually,
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
You can actually walk out of an Apple store with a MacBook and an iPhone and not be able to plug your iPhone into your MacBook.
Yep.
I don't think that's a very good thing.
Well, that is unless you buy their USB-C to Lightning cable, which...
Well, yeah, but that's more money. I think that's like a $30 cable.
35, I think.
Are you serious? Okay, let's go look at this really quick, because that's ridiculous. Here, I got you, Matt. Let's find out.
Got me Famry.
Yes. What are we at here, guys? Check this out. This is penny pinching from Apple, and that's one thing that they do that isn't cool, but here you go. Power and cables. Check this out, guys. What we got here? Okay, a 1 meter USB-C to Lightning cable is $25. 2 meter is $35. And you have this freaking ugly case right here for $100.
Oh, you're talking about the battery case?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's atrocious. I don't like it.
It just looks so awful. Even this freaking... Okay, you know what? I have like a million of these things. Does this look like it's worth $20 to you guys? I mean, I just find those laying around at school, just in the hallway, plugged into walls without anything plugged into them. I got like 10 of them just laying around my room. And they're... What?
No, I'm kidding.
I just told you.
I know. But no, they're certainly not worth... Well, they
guys, donate to the link in the description to get Matt some hearing aids. I think he needs them.
You know, they do have those cheaper ones, but the Apple ones actually are built a little nicer inside. I've seen people take those apart. The cheap ones actually are dangerous.
They don't filter the power as well, or it's something like that just is trashy about it when you compare it to the Apple one. But it's freaking $20 for something this big. Look.
Well, to be fair, I have to pay either $30 to listen to music on my iPhone, or $7 to use my own headphones on my iPhone if I lose the cable like I always do. So,
or you could just use your Beats like I do. Those are Bluetooth.
We are not sponsored. No.
Yeah, break your Beats in the episode. See, check this. Everyone needs to basically get Bluetooth headphones at this point, because their headphone jack is not coming back to the iPhone. No matter how much people want it, it's not coming back. It's dead. There's one time that I can think of that Apple actually did listen to their customers, and that was with the iPod Shuffle. You remember that? They went to that stupid like stick design without any buttons. Everyone hated it, and then they went back to the one with the buttons on it like normal. So I can't think of one other time than that Apple actually listened to their consumers.
No, can I?
I can't either.
It's because there probably isn't.
Hard for this.
With the wireless headphones, I was really expecting them to bring out like AirPods 2 or something. I know they were just announced, but with the iPhone 10, I was expecting like
the only thing that's new is that wireless charge case for them.
Yeah.
Which costs even more money, because you have to buy it separately. So I don't know, guys. See, Apple does definitely have its downfalls, but as I've said before, and I will continue to say, it is genuinely, in my experience, I'm not going to say it is as a fact, I'm just saying in my experience, Apple is the most reliable. Like, look at this. iPhone 5 is my main phone. That is 5 years old, and it is faster than this piece of crap that I spent $850 on. There you go, guys. I think that's where we're going to end off this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed seeing Matt here, tell us in the comments. We will bring him back for the next episode where we talk about his addiction to spending money. And as always, guys, subscribe to Brandon. You can only see half of his face right now because that's just how Skype works. There you go.
Oh, there I am. I'm back.
Dude, do the John Cena you can't see me thing.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Oh man. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to all 3 of our channels. Links are in the description. There's end screens, all the usual stuff, guys. If you enjoyed the Rantcast, be sure to tell us in the comments below. And until the next video, guys, that is it. So thank you for watching.
Don't forget about one more thing, Sam, before you go. South Park Season 21. It's out.
Oh, dude. Guys, South Park Season 21. Started on Wednesday. It was a great episode. Not even gonna lie. They're going back to how it was before. If you have Hulu, go watch it. It's a great episode. But until the next video, guys, that is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reminding me, because I forgot.
Yeah.
Problem, dude.